What is up, boyos, and welcome to Last Week in Games, where everything is video games. My name is Jake, and again, I'm joined by myself. Once again, just a solo show, and to be completely frank with you, not a whole lot of video game news this past week, but next week is seeming pretty exciting, so we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's coming up next week. But before we get to the stuff that's coming up next week, I think we should talk about the news that did happen last week. And here's what it is. DCU Online is coming to the PS5 this holiday. Now, this is crazy because DCU Online, DC Universe Online, launched on the PS3 like well over 10 years ago, I think, because it launched on the PS3, if I remember correctly, and then it relaunched on the PS4, and now it's coming to the PS5. I'm baffled by this. I didn't know people still played DC Universe Online. The fact that people do, I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. I saw this and I was almost like, should I check out DC Universe Online? I played it for a little bit back on the PS3. Like, I haven't touched it since then. I don't know how it holds up. I'm kind of curious. Maybe that'd be a fun stream to do on twitch.tv/lonercast. I don't know. Maybe something to check out. But DCU Online is coming to PS5 somehow this holiday. That's pretty exciting stuff. Alan Wake 2, one of my most anticipated games of this year. This was going to be my Halloween game, and it's still going to be my Halloween game. I loved the first Alan Wake. Of course, Remedy also made Control, which is a fantastic game. That was their last game, I believe. And it got delayed, but only by 10 days. This is interesting. Why would they delay it 10 days? Well, I think what we should look at is the release calendar around Alan Wake 2, right? So let's pull that up here. So Alan Wake 2 is moving from October 17th to October 27th. Now, I've got a video game release calendar here provided to us from Game Informer. This is every game coming out in 2023 thus far. So now if we go back to the original release date, which is around right here, October 17th, was the original release date for Alan Wake 2. It doesn't look packed, right? We got Lords of the Fallen, which I hear, people like, Endless Dungeon, Gangs of Sherwood, Hot Wheels Unleashed. But here's where things get interesting. On the 20th, which is just a few days after, we've got Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So I think what they were thinking with Alan Wake was, well, let's give a little space to these games here. Let's not come out before because people aren't going to buy us before. Let's come out closer to Halloween because it's sort of a horror game, and we might be able to hit a market a little better right there. But I think they didn't push it further because they wanted to come out before Halloween. I really do believe that. I think they wanted to get that free hype from Halloween, you know what I mean? I really do think that's part of the strategy as well. And they just want to get the game out. I'm sure they want to start working on other stuff, and they can't start working on other stuff until they get this one out. We've gotten some Modern Warfare 3 news. Modern Warfare 3, of course, is coming out probably also in October. I don't think we have an official release date, but probably around that Alan Wake time is when it's going to come out, if not November. But we're gonna find out more at Jeff Keighley's Gamescom next week, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. But Modern Warfare 3, we did get some announcements for it. Modern Warfare 3 is bringing back the mini-map and bringing back every single Modern Warfare 2 map. For me, I thought that this is what Modern Warfare 2 was gonna be. Like the one that came out last year. Like, I thought Modern Warfare 2 was going to be the game to bring back all the Modern Warfare 2 maps and to bring back the mini-map and to bring back those classic modes. And it wasn't. It was a fun game. I enjoyed my time with Modern Warfare 2, 2022. But it wasn't exactly what I wanted, and it sounds like Modern Warfare 3 is that game that I wanted, which pisses me off because I don't want to buy another Call of Duty, but with everything they're saying, I may have to buy another goddamn Call of Duty game. Because I want that mini map back, baby. I want it back. Give it to me. The gameplay has changed so much from those earlier Call of Duty games to now. And it sounds like they're kind of getting nostalgic and bringing some of that stuff back, which I think is a great idea for Call of Duty. Now, the real question is this game going to come straight to Game Pass? I think that would be a very exciting thing. I don't want to buy another Call of Duty game. So please come to Game Pass so I can save some money, because I already have Game Pass. Thank you very much. That is my spiel on the new Call of Duty. Also, last week, we got an announcement for a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, but it's not just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. Now, if you don't know what The Last Ronin is, The Last Ronin is basically every single one of the turtles. They all die except for one, and I forget which one it is. Hold on, let me look it up. So the last Ronin turtle is Michelangelo. So basically his brothers die and he takes over. And it's a much darker Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles story. And the idea of it is the other turtles die and Mikey takes all of their weapons and learns how to use all of their weapons, you know? And it's such a cool concept. It was published by IDW, such a great comic book series. Well, last week we got an announcement that we're actually getting a video game, which I think has really cool implications for story, and you could do so much with this concept. Like I was saying, you've got the different weapons, and you could switch them out. You could have like different stances, like in Ghost of Tsushima, and the different stances are all the different turtle weapons and stuff. Like it's such a cool idea to do for a game. We'll see if it delivers. This trailer is really great too, with the candles being blown out and then there's just one candle left. Such a great idea. Such a great reveal, rather. I'm very, very excited for this. Now, here's my one caveat. It's being developed or published by THQ Nordic. And THQ Nordic doesn't have the best track record. But I hope they can turn it around, because I would love if this game was like God of War meets Ghost of Tsushima, you know, and with like a really dark story. It's a great idea. I love it. Now, like I mentioned, we do have some big events coming up next week, and really we have one big event coming up next week, and that's Gamescom, and that is Jeff Keighley's big annual summer showcase that he does in Germany every year. Now, Jeff Keighley did temper expectations. He did say that he wanted to make this show not so much about announcing new games. He wanted to talk about existing games, was kind of where he's at, and he wanted the showcase to be more, let's showcase existing games. I think he's starting to transition into Game Awards is where we announce games. Gamescom is just sort of our PAX, and we can give updates on existing games. Kind of a smart idea. Otherwise, you're blowing your load too much. You know what I mean? Especially with E3 that just kind of happened. Well, Key 3, as we lovingly call it. His Summer Games Fest just happened, not long ago. So what really is there to announce? But he did say these are some of the things that will be included in the opening night live, which is the opening ceremony of Gamescom. Normally this is 2 hours long. I wonder if it'll go shorter this time because there's less things that he wants to talk about, like he was saying. But here are some of the things that he mentioned. Alan Wake 2 is one of the things that we will see more of. I feel like we've seen enough of Alan Wake 2. I feel like it's been at every conference. Like, we've seen a ton of Alan Wake 2. So more Alan Wake 2. I don't know if it's something I really need. But okay, let's get more Alan Wake 2. I'm into it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I want to say this is like the latest we've gone before getting like the official announcement for Modern Warfare 3, because I don't think we've had like any sort of reveal trailer or anything for Modern Warfare 3. I may be wrong, and that game's supposed to come out later this year, so hopefully it doesn't suck. Give us supposedly, like I was saying earlier, it's bringing back all those Modern Warfare 2 maps. It also is going to have zombies in it, apparently. So I'm sure we're going to see all of that at opening night live. Sonic Superstars, we're going to see some more info about, which is that new Sonic game that looks pretty cool, actually. We're going to get more information about Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is supposed to come out later this year as well. It's a more traditional Assassin's Creed game, so it's pretty exciting, I guess. Black Myth Wukong. Don't know a whole lot about that game, but we're going to hear more about that. We're going to hear more about Crimson Desert. We're going to hear more about Zenless Zone Zero, which is a game that's, I think, is like coming out like that week. So there you go. Lords of the Fallen, we're going to hear more about. Mortal Kombat 1, same thing, coming out that same week, I'm pretty sure, or like shortly after. And Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty DLC. That's another thing that's coming out like directly after it. So these are not like huge things, and I don't think we should expect big things from this opening night live. I will be watching it, and we will be discussing it next week on Last Week in Games. So you could come over and join us over here on the YouTube channel or where you find your podcast services. Spotify is a big one. Look up Last Week in Games on Spotify. But we'll be talking about it next week. Should be fun. Now, is there anything Jeff is leaving off? That's the question, right? Is Jeff hiding anything from us? Is there something, like one big thing that he hasn't told us? I think of last year, I think we got, wasn't that the one where Neil Druckmann came out, right? And sort of talked about The Last of Us Online. That might have been the Game Awards, but I feel like that was Gamescom. I feel like that was Gamescom. So maybe we could get more to Last of Us information. Factions, the online mode for Last of Us. I doubt it, especially after all that controversy we got earlier this year. I made a video about it, so you can check that out. I'll pin it at the end of this video if you want to watch what happened with the Last of Us stuff. I don't think we're ever going to see that game, to be honest. I think it's never coming out. But this could be a place for them to talk about it. I'm not sure. Another big thing, Jeff Keighley and our boy Hideo Kojima, best friends, of course. They love each other. So could we see Death Stranding 2, like a trailer or a release date, a release window, something for Death Stranding 2 here? Maybe. I doubt it. I don't think that's what we're going to see here. I think everything he just mentioned is going to be most of what we're seeing, along with maybe some indies. I wouldn't get my hopes up for this one. And if you keep your hopes down low, if something does happen, then you're like ecstatic about it. But I feel like opening night live it's been slowly like becoming a nothing burger sort of conference every year. So yeah, still something to check out. Now I want to talk about some games I've been playing. I've been playing some games over the past week. I've been playing a lot of games over the past week. Last week, of course, I've been continuing my journey with Baldur's Gate. I am in love with Baldur's Gate. It is so long, though. And especially when I'm currently playing through two different campaigns. I'm playing a solo campaign where I'm playing as like a fighter. And I'm enjoying my time with it. But then I'm also playing with two of my friends, where I'm playing a cleric and trying to balance those things out. Like I'm like 40 hours into the game, but not really, because that's been split between two campaigns. You know what I mean? So I'm not as far as I would like in the game, but I'm absolutely loving it. And let me say, in both campaigns, there's similar storylines, right? Because the way the game is designed. But each of them, I've had like different experiences, and it's not like I've been bored playing either of these things, So I'm absolutely loving Baldur's Gate. Another game I've been playing over the past week is I finally got back to playing Jedi Survivor. And I think they've released some patches for this game, because every time I was playing it towards launch, every time I would launch it, it would crash at least one time. And it hasn't crashed at all on me over the past week while I've been playing it. So that's great. It's such a good game. It's so much better than the first one. People don't talk about this game enough. This game came out this year, right? Am I crazy? That was this year. And this year has been so crazy in games that no one's even talking about this game as in like contention for game of the year. That's how good this year has been. This game came out in April this year, and no one's even like Jedi Survivor should be nominated for game of the year contention. Because we've had games like Baldur's Gate. We've had games like Legend of Zelda, Tears for the Kingdom. We've had Hogwarts Legacy. We're going to have Spider-Man. We're going to have Spider-Man soon. We're going to have that new Mario game. There's so much happening this year. We got Armored Core this year. It's coming out soon. Like, an insane year for video games. So insane that a Jedi game that's phenomenal, better than the first one, which was nominated for Game of the Year, it's not even talked about. That's how good this year is for video games. And let me tell you, Jedi Survivor, really fun game. I think the platforming is phenomenal. Like, I think that's where that game shines. The combat is so much better than the first one. And the storyline is actually quite engaging and really expands the universe of Star Wars. So I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's a great game. I can't wait to beat it just so I can experience that ending. I put it off for the past few weeks because I've been playing other things like Baldur's Gate, and Legend of Zelda came out as well. So I'm finally starting to get some time to just sort of play that game as well. And I'm enjoying my time with it. So that's what I've been playing over the past week. Now let's get into next week in games, which next week we've got Fort Solis coming to PlayStation 5, PC, and Mac on August 22nd. Immortals of Avium coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC, August 22nd. Smurfs Kart, everyone's most anticipated game of the year. Smurfs Kart is coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, August 22nd. WrestleQuest is coming to everything, August 22nd. So next-gen consoles, past-gen consoles, and Switch. It's coming to everything, August 22nd. Blasphemous 2 is coming to PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC, August 24th. Unpacking is coming to iOS and Android. I wonder how that'll run on August 24th. So check that out. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, is coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on August 25th. That is a game to check out. I'm excited to see where that game falls on, the Metacritic scores. I'm wanting to get it, but at the same time, like I said, I am playing Baldur's Gate. I'm still kind of running through Jedi Survivor, hoping I can beat that soon, though. I didn't even beat Zelda yet, so I'd like to get back to Zelda at some point, but Armored Core is really calling my name. It's really calling to me, so maybe I'll give it a shot. But like Spider-Man's coming out soon. Like I don't have a lot of time to play Armored Core, to be honest. And of course, Starfield is coming out very, very soon. So yeah, there's just a lot of shit coming out. Dude, you know what else came out this year? Fucking Final Fantasy, and no one's talking about that game. Insane. What an insane year for games, and what an insane time for Last Week in Games. We'll catch you guys next week on Last Week in Games, where we will talk about opening night live here on Last Week in Games. You can find us on any kind of podcast service. Just look us up, Last Week in Games. You can find us on YouTube. Look up Lonercast. That is our network, the Lonercast Network. And you can watch us live on twitch.tv/Lonercast. I stream video games over there. Sometimes we stream this show live over there. If Nick is back, we tend to do it live. And we've got a ton of other content on the YouTube channel. We just recorded our Secret Invasion spoiler cast, me and Nick. So check that out. We've watched and ranked every single MCU movie, so definitely go and check that out. As well as other movie reviews. I reviewed Barbie. I did a Oppenheimer Barbie sort of mashup review over on Fat Guy Radio Show, which I posted on the Lonercast channel. So definitely check us out. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Be safe out there if you're in California, by the way. That hurricane seems to be nuts. I'm recording this at the time that the hurricane seems to be coming in. So everyone just be safe. I hope everyone's good.